So we're going to take a few minutes to look at two of Nigeria's markets, currencies, as well as fixed income that you call the debt market, treasury bills, and Naira bonds. So let's start with the currencies market. Of course, one of the news today is the central bank meeting with the bureau de change operators in Abuja to discuss the role of BDCs in Nigeria's FX market in 2017. Remember, we launched that market, the new flexible market, in June last year, just about 7 months down the line. But at the Interbank segment of the market, Naira remained flat at 305 to the US dollar. So let's get a bit of a sense of today's intraday trading with Diana, again, who is a FX dealer at Sterling Bank, one of Nigeria's commercial banks, downtown Lagos, on the phone. Diana, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Tell us how the Naira is behaving today.
Okay. In the Interbank today, CBN is likely to intervene with about $1.5 million. Over the month, CBN has intervened at an average rate of 304.5. The market has been very stable at 304.50, 305. And we know that the demand has actually outweighed supply. And then we also expect that CBN will continue to intervene in the market with their regular SMIS auction every month.
Where is this money coming from, Diana? Tell me. Where's money coming from? From the oil companies, export proceeds, 1.5 million barrels per day. 1.5 million dollars per day looks like a drop in the ocean, isn't it?
Yes. So that's why I said that CBN has always intervened through a special auction every other month. So the $1.5 million we get is just a regular sale from CBN, but we expect that from time to time CBN will come with this special intervention. At the last intervention they did, the CBN sold over $800 million for delivery in February, March, and April. So we expect them to also intervene this January for possible delivery in May.
So when are you traders expecting this special central bank intervention, and any idea of the size of what this will be vis-a-vis the demand?
Okay, what CBN does is that from time to time they look at the outstanding in the market and they call for an auction. When they call for an auction, they address the specific needs of certain sectors of the economy. Sometimes they look at agri, they look at manufacturing. Like I said, the last auction that was done in December, they looked at the manufacturing sector and the aviation sector. So from time to time, they intervene to address the supply requirements in some of the sectors. So we don't know what they are going to look at in January, but we are optimistic that in this first quarter, they are going to address some of those backlogs that we have in the system.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm going to mark that down very nicely of you, Diana Egeonu, FX dealer at Sterling Bank. We appreciate your talking to us today on what to expect as Nigeria's FX is concerned, still holding around 305 to the US dollar, the Interbank OTC market, and the expected central bank special actions. But let's look at the proceedings as far as the treasury bills market is concerned. That's where rates are trending higher, looking at average yield about 33 basis points to 18.25%. Liquidity is still very tight. On the treasury bill side, at the Naira bond side of the market, we're looking at about 17.09%. Is this where we are as we speak today, the third trading day of the week? Let's get a sense of the trend for this midweek activity. We're getting close to the closing time for trading in fixed income, treasuries, and bonds on the Nigerian market. Sheun Ameye is a fixed income dealer with Citibank Nigeria, and he's joining us also for a very few minutes conversation, bringing us up to speed. Sheun, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for coming through. Take a look at the yield curve for us today, and tell us where there's a pressure in terms of a sell. The short end, the mid end, or the long end of the market?
Well, for the short end, which is primarily the treasury bills, it's just been a play on liquidity. Whenever there's the liquidity in the market is short, you find people just selling off the short end, which has a very low duration, as they call it. So yes, on Monday, the CBN did an OMO and they took up about over 200 billion from the market. So the liquidity shortage translated into higher yields on treasury bills. But at the long end of our sovereign curve, which is the bond, is all about the bond auction, which is going to happen next week. In comparison to the last quarter and in comparison to the first quarter of 2015, it showed that the government is borrowing more. So the market is just adjusting to reflect the higher borrowing by the government on bonds, or expected borrowing by the government on bonds.
So ahead of DMOs next week, first bond auction in 2017, is there an appetite for a buy for this fresh openings or whatever reopening that the debt office will put on the table?
Well, at the levels where we are at the moment, we will expect interest from participants in the market. These are 16.7, 16.6 levels, and which are nearing the highs that we've seen in a while. So I think we will see some demand, especially for people who have long-term view of these instruments.
Okay, Shewemeye, thank you very much. I guess we'll talk, we'll have a chat next week when this auction takes place. From Citibank in Nigeria, thank you very much for being part of the program today. Let's move on to Egypt, where annual consumer price inflation in cities soared to a second straight 8-year high last month, hitting 23.3% on the back of government's decision to float the Egyptian pound, effectively cutting the value of that currency by half. Core inflation also jumped to 25.86% in the urban areas. Urban consumer inflation hit an 8-year high of 19.4% in November, the month when Egypt abandoned its currency peg, like Nigeria in June last year, of 8.8 to the greenback. In a dramatic move that I've seen the currency depreciate roughly by half. Egypt accompanied the November 3 move with a 300 basis points interest rate hike to fight inflationary pressures. Despite the interest rate hike, inflation has risen sharply and is expected to climb further in 2017 as the government pushes on with economic reforms, including fuel subsidy cuts and the implementation of a higher value-added tax. In Egyptian cities and towns, food and beverage inflation touched 28.3% last month. Healthcare inflation was at 32.9%, while transportation was higher by 23.2%. Nana Akufo-Addo is the new president in West Africa's second largest economy, that's Ghana. He's settling into office after inauguration and has appointed an investment banker, Ken Ofori-Atta, as the finance chief. Following elections last month, they saw the return to power of the new Patriotic Party. Ofori-Atta is 57 years old and held the position of executive chairman of Accra-based investment bank Interbank Financial Services for 12 years until 2012, when he served as a director of fundraising during the MPP's campaign for the December 7 general elections. That's about all for today. We hope you enjoyed. I am Bosun Mafai, and I'll see you again soon. Do have a great day.